We got the asshole. Ready?
Yes.
All right, this one says, my friend and I live about an hour apart.
Okay.
She came to my city to visit another friend and planned to take a later train home. Around 11 p.m., she texted me saying she missed her train and asked if she could stay at my place. Normally, I would say yes, but I had an early exam the next morning and had already gone to bed. I also live with roommates, and we had agreed not to have overnight guests during the week, which I think is a good rule to have. I told her I was really sorry, but I could not let her stay, and suggested that she try to get a later train or stay at the friend's house that she was visiting. She got upset and said I was being a bad friend and leaving her stranded. I think her other friend is responsible. I felt bad, but I also did not feel like it was my problem to fix. She ended up getting an early morning train and has been distant since. I would just like to add, she hadn't spoke to me for 5 days prior to coming to my town and didn't even tell me she was coming to the area. I just got a call at 11 p.m. at night when I was basically asleep. Am I the asshole?
Hell no. Why couldn't she stay with the friend that she actually went to see? Why she calling you?
I don't see. This one was a toss up for me. I was like, Jay could go either way on this.
And then also talk about she ain't spoke to you for 5 days before, was coming to town, didn't even fucking tell your ass. You didn't even know she was in town till she needed a favor. I think not. Girl, call the person you came to see. Call the person you actually came to see. Don't call me.
The thing that surprised me was how people were dragging her in the comments, talking about how much of an asshole she was.
She was not.
People
I would have
were
did
like-
the same shit. Especially since she has roommates. That's not just her place alone. She has to be considerate of the other people who helping her pay the bills.
Right. Now, I would have
told her that, like, hey, sorry, I got roommates. Those are the rules. We can't do that. Wish you would have told me sooner. We could have worked something out.
Yeah, but everybody is asleep right now. So
I'm not waking them up to ask.
Right. And I think there's some I think it's valid to be like, dude, I haven't even talked to you.
And you didn't even come here to see me. Why do you think it's my responsibility to make sure you get home safe?
And why wasn't your first thought to call the person that you came here to see?
Because why didn't you stay at their house? Why are you calling me?
Like, and why didn't you manage your time enough to make sure you didn't miss your train? This sounds like just a whole bunch of irresponsible things on your end.
That ain't got nothing to do with the girl that was sleep minding her fucking business. Like, no.
One person commented on this and said something like, everybody wants community until it's an inconvenience for them. And I'm just like, no, her friend was irresponsible. And now she expects her friend to bail her out. I'm sorry, boo,
Baby,
but I can't help
did
you.
The same thing. Like, first of all, and it's not a jealousy thing. It's just like, why are you not calling the person you came to see? First of all, since we friends, you know my roommate situation. You know I don't live alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's late. Again, maybe they live in New York, so none of them have cars. I'm not certain. But I'm like, why are you calling me and not the person you came to see? You just left their house. Why are you calling me?
Here's the other thing. This is what, 2026? There's way too many other options other than a train.
To me, if I know I have no self-reliant transportation, and I know me and this friend want to hang out all night, I already would have made plans to spend the night with old girl.
Or guy, whoever.
I would have made
just
plans
like whenever I go to
Nate,
whenever I go to Nate's house, it is in. Now, we have not said this just verbally, but it is an unsaid expectation that when I go to his house,
you're spending the night.
I'm spending the night. And he don't even live an hour away from me. I'm just not driving back home.
And that's fine.
Like, I ain't gonna say never, but I would think that I would never go somewhere where I don't have a car, know that I got a train coming up at a certain time, and not make sure that my ass ain't at that station for that train. And if I miss that train, you best believe I got a Uber or something on standby. Like, no. Sounds like to me, the girl knew she was gonna miss her train, said, I'm gonna just crash at
Oh, girl
Jessica's house.
Yeah.
And Jessica was like,
No,
no,
you
you're
ain't.
not. No, you're not. I got an exam tomorrow, and my roommates don't want your ass here either.
And they sleep. And so was I, actually, bitch.
Why are you calling me at 11 o'clock at night? So I think it was, honestly, I think her friend.
I think her friend is a shitty friend, not her. But that's just.
I don't like the whole.
But this is why people feel some way about friendships. If those are the people you have community with, baby, I would hate people too. If these are the type of motherfuckers I had in my circle all the time.
I just don't think being somebody friends means you need to enable their irresponsibilities.
You can have boundaries for yourself, and ain't nothing wrong with that. And I'm glad she stood by her boundaries. Like, look, I got exam tomorrow. I got roommates. I ain't letting you fuck that up. Sorry, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
No.
Like, and I don't see anything wrong with that. Sure, does that suck in the moment for the friend? Of course it does, because you thought you was gonna be able to stay at her house. But you also need to take into consideration, it ain't just her there.
Now, if she lived alone, I'm like, girl, you could have let her stay in the living room.
That you kind of shitty. Like you are kind of shitty for that. I'll be honest.
But and she said roommates, not roommate.
Meaning she has more than one.
Them girls ain't jumping me because I want to be nice to you. I think not.
Well, here's another one. This one says, this happened last night and now I'm second guessing myself.
Okay.
A close friend of mine has been going through a rough time and I try to be there for them when I can. I listen, I check in, I don't brush them off. But it's also been pretty constant lately and I'm honestly a little worn down. Last night I was finally having a quiet moment. I was on the couch playing something, not doing anything important, just letting my brain shut off for once. I saw their message come in and I read it, but I didn't respond right away. I told myself I'd reply in a bit when I had the energy to actually be present instead of forcing a half answer. About an hour later, I get another message from them saying, wow, guess you're too busy for me. And that really hit me. I replied right away and explained that I wasn't ignoring them. I just needed a little time. That turned into them saying they feel like they can't rely on me and that I'm pulling away when they need me most. Now I feel awful, but also kind of frustrated. I'm not their therapist. I didn't disappear for days. I just didn't respond immediately because I was tired and needed a moment to myself. Part of me feels guilty for not being instantly available. Another part of me feels like it's not fair to expect that from one person all the time. Am I the asshole for taking a little space instead of replying right away? Or is it reasonable to need a break even when someone else is struggling?
First of all, she said it right. I'm not your therapist. I'm your friend. And see, if these are the behaviors you was having in your relationship, bitch, I know why it's over. You are a codependent ass motherfucker, and you need to get that together. Because you went right from your relationship to now trying to be leached on to me. No, girl.
And
no.
To me, these are the kinds of, like, that response is sometimes the kind of responses that people need. Like, I feel like we are.
And then she gaslit her.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't rely. Because, first of all, I think people forget that just because someone has a phone don't mean you have access to them. That means you can contact them and they can respond if they want to. They're not obligated to contact you.
You can call them. You can text them. You can leave voicemails. You can even show up at their goddamn door. If they are not in a place where they can deal with you,
they not gonna answer.
They don't have to. And it doesn't mean they love you any less.
But
It
I
just means they
mean,
can't deal right now.
an hour, the girl couldn't get
Maybe she
an
was
hour.
constipated and taking a shit.
My thinking, it's not like I'm with her. Like, it's not like I ignored her for days. Like, it was literally one singular.
And
She seems exhausting. I'm like, girl, I ain't
exactly.
being friends with
And
you
I
no
get
more.
that because I've had friends where it felt like they were
Mm-mm.
always just dumping their drama on me. And some days I would see their message. I'm like, not today. Not today. Not today. Like,
And I'm sure it's with that girl. Her brain went, nope.
I can't. And
Nope.
you know,
Mm-mm.
I am happy to hear that some people are prioritizing their mental well-being over their friends' issues.
Because, like I said, that girl needs a therapist, not a friend. She needs
Your
a
friends are not your
therapist.
like
Your friends and AI are not your therapist.
oh my God. I would rather you call me your therapist and tell me that AI is your therapist.
Get a real therapist. There are people who literally go to school for a long time to
Like,
be able to be a therapist. Please just go.
do
Just
not
go.
your friends are not your therapist. Stop using your friends for free therapy. Like, that is wild to me.
And then you making a burden to them. Like I said, my whole thought process was, baby, this probably what happened to her relationship, and that's why it's over. She a clean
And it's
master
fine.
3000. My
It's fine to
God.
vent to your friends. It is. I love it when my friends vent to me.
Not every day,
But
all day.
every single time I see you, it's always a different issue. That is exhausting.
It's never good news.
Like, damn,
Never nothing
nothing
funny.
good happens in your life. All you ever want to do is come here and talk shit about whatever dude you with. I'm tired of hearing about it.
No funny cat video, just
Send me a
nothing.
TikTok or something. Something to break this up. Like,
a mani-pedi, a restaurant. Can
I
we
don't
do
even
something?
want to do a mani-pedi with somebody like that.
I love a mani-pedi.
Well, I'm just talking about with somebody like that because all while you sitting there getting your mani-pedi done, they still talking to you about the shit. I'm like, I don't want to hear that right now.
You know what's so crazy? Because they be showing good shit on TV at the nail salons. I've
They
been
do.
zoned out watching First 48, forgetting that girl was even there.
But yeah, I just don't like that whole, like, people expect their friends to always be there for them.
Because
Yes,
you're burning
it
out your
sucks.
friend.
It sucks that you're going through
Mm-mm.
something. And I do empathize with you, but that does not mean that I have to be at your beck and call because you are going through something. How about you ask me if I'm going through something? Maybe I'm going through something.
She might have been going through something too.
Exactly. Maybe there's a reason that she needed to mentally check out. How about asking her, oh, what's going on with you?
Now talk about me. Like, have you even asked that girl, hey, how are you doing?
Because if somebody's at the point where they have to just, because I mean, she said she wasn't ignoring the call, but I'm like, that is ignoring the text. You ignored it.
Her
but you
brain
had
said, I will come back when I am mentally
a
able.
reason to ignore it. And if that isn't your typical behavior, like, let's say I'm the friend with all the issues and you're the friend that I keep dumping all that shit on, and I text you and you don't respond in a fucking hour, and then I'm just like, well, you don't give a fuck about me then.
Well, the audacity comes from old girl always so quickly responded to her, and she's expecting it now. She's like, "How dare I know you seen it? It says you seen it an hour
And that's
ago."
exactly why I turned that red receipt off. But at the same time, if I know that is not your typical behavior, you would think that her first thought would be, this isn't how she normally acts.
Let me give her time.
It's something going on.
Let me give her time.
How about I put my shit to the side for a second and check in with my friend to see what's going on with her, because she don't usually do this.
You know them self-centered motherfuckers don't think like that. She instantly start gaslighting. You're a terrible friend and you didn't respond.
You're never there for me.
And you never said what you wanted, bitch, because you didn't want shit. Because you didn't want shit. You want to tell me that you had a dream about this man last night. I don't care. That could have waited till whenever the fuck I contacted you. You seen a piece of toast that you thought looked like his face. Girl, I ain't got time for you.
You know,
You didn't want nothing.
I had a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A.
The fuck you finna say?
And I was eating it, but for some reason I chose to eat it in a weird way. And when I took the last bite of it, I pulled the sandwich away and I looked at it, and it looked like the Batman symbol.
Yeah, some rich motherfucker finna pop out and start beating fucking people up. And you know how I feel about Batman.
I
He's
know,
a
I shouldn't have
fucking
brought it up.
rich ass vigilante. He's a criminal.
I shouldn't have brought it up. I'm sorry.
Beating up the poor people. At least Joker giving them a job, nigga. Damn. It ain't a good
Fuck
job.
the Joker.
It ain't a good job. At least he ain't going, you poor motherfucker, you robbing to feed your family. Stop. And I got enough money to feed the whole motherfucking city. But what I want to do, build this big black ass fucking thing, this office building for me. And my 3 employees, so who knows where the fuck they came from.
He had 1 employee.
No, he had 1 that we knew about.
So where you get 3 from?
The other motherfuckers that just be at meetings. Where the fuck they come from?
Okay, so where is all this energy for Robin then?
Girl, fuck a Robin. He don't count.
He wanted to be just like Batman.
I don't even give a fuck about Robin.
I'm like,
Can I tell you?
How about, okay,
he is non-important to me.
You mad at the rich motherfucker for doing this. I get it. But what about the poor motherfucker that's doing it behind him?
Because he mooching off of Batman. He live in his house. Is he
That's
poor
true.
anymore? Not really.
Yeah, he's just a poor freeloader.
Batman basically all but adopted that motherfucker. Like, he living good. What he want to beat up motherfuckers for? He's a charity case himself.
But that's exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to be a vigilante with Batman.
I understand Robin more than Batman.
Okay, so whatever.
I still don't fuck with him. I don't give a fuck about Robin. Never have, never will.
Whatever. Anyway, when you said she ate a piece of toast that looked like the man face, that made me think about the chicken sandwich I had.
See how we get sidetracked?
But yeah, I don't think this person is the asshole at all.
Hell no, she ain't. Your friend is the asshole. Tell the girl get a therapist and some sense. I
hate this gaslighting shit. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, your friends is doing it too. We already was getting this shit from the men. Now we got to worry about our friends. I'm telling you,
just a double whammy.
Yeah, we would not be friends if either of us was trying to gaslight each other.
I'm like, girl, you know I am hanging on to my sanity, but the smallest, all it's gonna take is one thing to send me over the fucking edge.
I just don't like that shit. Like, it's
life is hard enough.
You don't need to do that with your friends.
Life is hard enough.
And
these people are nuts. I'm so glad my friends ain't crazy like this.
Oh, but like this. Okay, I'm glad you added the like this part. I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily say we ain't crazy.
No, we gotta be crazy. We friends with each other.
Okay.
Just we both crazy.
Very. Are we still going to that thing that Paris sent you?
That's next weekend.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. One of us better remind the other.
I think I got a reminder on my phone. I need to contact them to make sure I didn't need a reservation.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Okay. Anyway, we got more audience submitted questions.
Yay.
This one I thought was really interesting.
What it say?
It's a yes or no question, but I feel like me and you in our normal fashion will elaborate.
We ain't going to be able to do
that. And I put...
what it say?
It says... So let's say you weren't married. You and Victor weren't married. If your partner proposes to you and you say no, is the relationship over?
I don't think so. I think it depends on who you talking to. It depends on the relationship y'all have. And because some people get mad at the engagement because they feel like the relationship didn't even match the engagement. What the hell are you fucking doing? And they think they're nuts and they don't want them no more. And because sometimes it just might be, I'm not really think I'm ready for marriage. I still want to be with you. But I don't think I'm ready for that. But then I feel like engagements are stuff, again, that I've already said need to be talked about beforehand. You should not learn that somebody wants to be married to you when they do a surprise engagement. That should not be when you learn about that shit. There should be a conversation. There should be conversations beforehand about where y'all future is going before somebody, like when I got proposed to, I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when. But I was not surprised by said proposal. That's how I feel about that.
I think it depends on whether I am the person that's asking or being asked.
Interesting point. Yes.
If I'm being asked, to me, no, the relationship is not over. I was clearly cool with the relationship. I just didn't want to marry him. But if I'm the one asking and they say no, I have to reevaluate. Be like, well, where do we go from here?
Well, that's also that's why you got to have the conversation beforehand. It goes, oh, okay, this is what I'm thinking about our future. How do you feel about what I've just said about our future? And then if you realize y'all not even on the same wavelength, you can decide to break up or anything right then and there. You ain't even got to do all that shit.
And it also depends on how you tell me no. Like if you just saying no, whatever. But if you like start like laughing at me or like embarrassing, then okay.
But then some people find the public proposal embarrassing.
I'm one of those people.
So
that's why I agree with you. You need to have a conversation well before the proposal. Cause if any dude that I'm with, they will know.
Do it at home.
You better not ask that girl to marry you in public. You better not make a big deal out of this. The only thing that I've ever been okay with doing in public is a what's the thing where everybody be in the street and then all of a sudden everybody start dancing?
Flash mobs.
Flash mobs. I want to do one of those so bad.
I think the time for those is kind of left.
I don't care. I still want to do one.
You know what? Look it up. There might be people still just fucking doing it.
Cause I go, let's do the time warp again.
What a random song. But okay. All right.
It just reminded me of that Drew Carey episode where they did it.
I was like, girl, what a random song.
I think a flash mob would be so fun.
Is it on your bucket list?
It is. There's a lot of stuff on my bucket list. That Velcro thing is on my bucket list. I want to be put in a straight jacket and bounce around a padded room. I want to do flash mob. I ain't living.
Do I even have a bucket list? I don't think I do.
Well, those are mine. The other question was, they wanted to know pretty much the backstory on like why I decided to get a hysterectomy now 2 years ago. And I've gone over a little bit about why I chose to get a hysterectomy. The main reason was because I didn't want kids, which I've been very honest about that. I have known since I was in about 7th grade that I didn't want kids. And that was the first time I asked my mother for a hysterectomy.
She's like, girl, you ain't foolish developed. Get your ass out of here.
Because I think that's when she had hers. It was either 7th or 8th grade. And she was telling me what that meant for her. And one of the things she told me was she can't have kids anymore. And I was just like, what?
Girl, I want that too.
You mean to tell me there's a way to make sure I don't do that?
Well, there's multiple ways. One of them is celibacy. But anyway.
Yeah, but I knew that wasn't a part of my life. But so I was like, okay, well, let's look into this hysterectomy then. So I asked her if I could have one. She was like, no. What is wrong with you? But anyway, so then once I got to the age where I actually had to go start seeing the OBGYN, every single year I would ask them, can I get a hysterectomy? Will you do a hysterectomy? And every year they told me no. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to ask you again next year. Like, I'm going to bug you. I don't care. I want one. So, what year was this? 2020. I was getting my 3rd IUD in, getting it replaced, and it was not fun. It actually hurt quite a bit. I ended up with cysts on my ovaries. And my OBGYN at that time told me that they were about the size of golf balls. And I think I had 5 of them on one ovary. It was painful. And this doctor had me going to get ultrasounds to, monitor whether they were shrinking or not. And they were, but I had so I went and got the ultrasound. This was like the 3rd or 4th ultrasound that I had gotten. And I'm seeing in the portal that the results are there, but the doctor isn't calling me to go over the results with me because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. And so I messaged her, and then like a week go by, no response.
Okay.
So then I messaged her again, like another 2 weeks go by, no response. So then now I'm like, okay, I'm about to find another doctor. Which sucked because I had been with that doctor. This was 2020, so I had been with her since 2011.
She could at least answer the damn
Yeah,
thing.
I'm like, dang, yes or no? Do I need to get another one? Like, is it getting better? Like, what's going on? And so I started looking for another doctor. I'd also had a procedure done that year. The was it the colposcopy where they take samples of the cervix?
Oh yeah. Oof.
And I felt like she went a little bit overboard. She kept picking samples off of my cervix. And I am awake during this. That hurts like a mother. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go find another doctor. And I actually went and I specifically looked for a Black female doctor.
Boy, them's hard to come by.
They are hard to find. And I found one at another hospital system. And I was really just going to get the checkup, like to figure out what was going on with the cysts. So I went to her and I asked her, like, had all my paperwork from the old hospital system transferred over, met with her, and she asked me a question. And she was like, I see that you've gotten, because there's a procedure that you can have where you get abnormal cells burned off. They'll put you to sleep. And I had that done twice. And she asked me why I chose to have that done, because it wasn't necessary in her opinion. And at the time, I had been told that I had HPV. So she asked me why I had this procedure done, and I said because I had HPV and it was to get rid of the abnormal cells. I said, but the thing is, at that time I was not sexually active. So I'm like,
it wasn't HPV then.
So, well, I was like, I'm not sexually active, so I don't understand why it's coming back.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, because that's what they can't get HPV if you're not active.
And do you know, this doctor looked at me and she said, but you don't have HPV.
You never had it?
And I was like,
what the fuck you mean, girl?
I was like, my last doctor specifically told me I had HPV. I was like, that's the only reason I even had that procedure done. And she was like, you don't. She was like, you do have abnormal cells, but greater majority of women do. She said, but if you look here, and she showed me like my whole chart that was just transferred to her. And she's like, if you look here, here's where it says you have the abnormal cells. And again, most women do. And she was like, but here's where it says whether HPV is actually detected, and it wasn't.
But that would make sense why that doctor didn't want to contact you back, because then she would have to admit that you didn't fucking have it after you already had. That makes sense why she ignored you. Okay.
So
yeah,
now I'm with a new gynecologist, and she's telling me, hey, this thing that they told you had, you don't actually have it. And I was just like, so I had that procedure done twice.
For nothing.
For nothing. And
I would feel, I'd be like, I feel weird about this.
I did feel weird, because I really liked that gynecologist.
So
I did.
you thought. But
right.
Anyway.
So then that was the first time I asked this new gynecologist about hysterectomy. And I think I was 33 at that time. And she even said no. She was like, I will not do a hysterectomy on you. She was like, even though you are positive you don't want kids, I will not do it. And she was like, mainly because there's a good chance getting a hysterectomy will send you into early menopause, and I really don't want to do that. And I was just like, okay, whatever. And I was like, well, what other options do I have? She's like, what I will do for you is I will tie your tubes. And I said, yeah, but I've heard about people still getting pregnant even with tube tying. She was like, well, that's the old way of doing tying tubes,
Yeah.
where they used to leave them in.
They were literally just tied, not
Yeah.
done.
She said, but now we actually remove the tubes altogether.
Mhm.
So I opted to do that first. I did that when I was 34, 33, 34. And then the next year, I went to my annual with this gynecologist, and I talked to her about the hysterectomy again, because again, every year I ask. I don't care if I got my tubes tied. I want something that's a little more permanent. And she said, let's discuss that again when you become high risk, which was when I was 35.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, bet. So now year 35, I turned 35. Now it's like the summer after that when I go for my annual. And I'm talking to her about it, and I asked her again, and she was like, no, pretty much. But then again, abnormal cells I have, she wants to do the biopsy again just to make sure that it's not cancerous. And I told her, I actually just had to have a heart-to-heart with her, and I said, look, I have had to have that biopsy done. I know y'all say it's going to feel like pressure, but that really hurts. And I said, and I am so tired of getting that biopsy every freaking year. It's almost making me just be like, I'm just going to deal with the fucking risk. I'm tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't understand why I can't get a hysterectomy so that I can avoid having to do this every year.
Yeah.
And that's when she said, are you positive you don't want kids? And I said, yes, I have never wanted kids of my own. Completely okay with dating somebody with kids. I just don't want any of my own. And she was like, okay. To avoid constantly having to do the biopsy, and if I didn't want to do the biopsy, that's when she was like, okay, well, then we'll have to do the other procedure where we put you to sleep, burn off the cell thing. And I was just like, I don't want to keep being put to sleep either.
Just do this and don't go worry about none of it no more. Just do it.
So that's when she finally was like, okay, we will do the hysterectomy. And she was like, I will submit all the paperwork needed to get it approved. You will get your hysterectomy this year. And I was like, thank God. I've been trying since I was in 7th grade to get this damn thing.
You know what, though? They do women like that. Because I told you, I've been trying to get my tubes tied since I turned 18. I've also went on the same mission. I said, bet, wait till I turn 18. But then I got married at 19. And then that's when the rules changed. First, it was no, you too young. Then it was, we need your husband's signature. And I said,
which is wild. Which is wild because I know some men that have gotten
without their
vasectomies without their wives knowing. Didn't require signature or anything like that from the wife. So why would you require that I have a signature from my husband?
But I think that was just the particular doctor. I don't think
I've heard several people say that about
the doctors are putting their own personal opinions on shit. And it's like, no.
Here's my take on a doctor. And I told this gynecologist that, and fortunately for me, she agreed. I said, I don't think that my doctor is supposed to be the deciding factor of everything that happens with me. It is supposed to be a team effort thing. You are supposed to provide me medical
pros,
advice,
the cons, and then I make my own
supposed to weigh that. Whatever the consequences be of my decision, it is still up to me. Like, I get that, insurance and everything, unfortunately gets a say in what we can do because they just won't pay for some shit. They'll just outright not pay for
some
stuff.
shit. Yeah.
But when it all boils down, I should still be able to decide whether, like, even if I was 21 and decided I wanted a hysterectomy, the doctor should still give me all the pros and cons of doing it so that I am fully educated on what that means for me. And then if I decide I still want to do it, the doctor should be like, okay, I will do it, but your insurance ain't gonna pay for it though.
Which is different. And that's fine.
Yeah, I'll still let you do it, but just know you gonna have to pay for that out of pocket.
And you be like, all right, fine.
And then make them sign paperwork that's like, okay,
they knew about
if
it.
20 years from now you decide you want kids and now you mad because you ain't gonna come and sue me. Because you made that decision, not me.
Because we went to the same person to get our results. Now, I will say, when I first had my first meeting, when I tell you she went through my whole chart with me, was explaining everything. Girl, love her. Oh, love her. My God.
I love that gynecologist.
She explained that because I went through her and I told her how, this is the same doctor that said that I was infertile. He just was lying. I was like, so you tell me I'm infertile, then refuse to get my tubes tied. That don't make sense because you told me I was fertile anyway. And I said, well, just in case I ain't. Let's do this then, just in case. He like, nah, girl. Really, he just felt I was too young. And he could have said that. Now, what he could have said was because of legalities and how many doctors have been sued from people wanting reversals, I don't feel comfortable giving it to you that
And
young.
I would have been like,
and that would have been acceptable to me. But to be, I need your husband. I said, since when? I said, what year is this? 1952? The hell you mean you need my husband? So then, of course, I ditched that doctor. I said, the devil is a lie. I ain't going to you no more. So then I found other ones, but they were more honest. They was like, look, girl, your age is making me uncomfortable. Like, it's your age why we're not
well, that was one of the reasons that she said she would wait until she's like, at 35, you're now considered high risk pregnancy if you did get pregnant. So she's like, I would be a little more okay with doing it then.
But then my response for her is different because I already had a child by that point.
Right.
So when I came to her already having a child, it was like, hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
You look at my records. You seen the complications I had.
Yeah, you almost died.
I don't think that'll be smart for me to do it again. I care more about being alive for the one that's already here than making new ones. Right. True. And she goes, I agree. You. I agree. So she with no problem was like, hey, what you want to do? And I said, I want them gone. Forget tired. I want that shit floating in the air. I don't want.
I was so bad. I asked her to show me my tubes after I woke up from that damn surgery.
She showed me a picture.
I wanted to see them live and in person.
She can't do that.
She didn't do that.
She legally can't do that.
I did ask for it though.
She
gonna have to tell me no.
You already signed paperwork agreeing to either have your shit thrown away or donate it to science. You already signed paperwork.
Incinerate them bitches. I don't care. Send them back up to the Lord.
I think I donated mine. I donated my placenta too.
I don't know what I did with them.
I donated
honestly, she probably told me. I honestly, I truthfully did not care. I even offered.
You didn't read them papers?
I just signed it.
Jocelyn.
I said, get them out of me.
I read all them motherfucking papers. But that's how I know where I sent my shit to. Like, she asked me, did I want them to be trashed or donated? And I did my placenta the same way. I donated my placenta.
Care if they were donated or trashed.
I donated that umbilical cord.
Do with them what you think is best, as long as they're not in my body anymore.
I donated mine.
And now, yes, read your paperwork.
Please read the goddamn paperwork.
But yeah, I'm telling you, I'm still so happy that I had that surgery. Now, are there complications? Yeah. So
I had the phantom pains.
See, and you talking about the tube, getting the tubes tied. I had no complications with that.
I had phantom pains.
Now with the hysterectomy, the common side effects of that is, low vitamin D, low calcium, and I'm assuming because of low calcium, you start having like joint pain and stuff. So I do have some knee pain now, and I do have to take a vitamin D and calcium supplement. But I'm like, it's still
that trade-off ain't that bad.
I'm like, I still don't regret having that surgery. I did keep my ovaries, so I do still have my ovaries. I did not get a radical hysterectomy, which is where they take everything. I just got a total
That's mainly people like cancer and stuff.
Yeah, I got a total hysterectomy, which is where they just take the tubes in the cervix. But I still have my ovaries. So
I would love not to have a period when I tell you.
but I also haven't had a period since 2011.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
My IUD got rid of my period. And when I say that was, oh my God, if people without kids have had an IUD put in, it is painful. First of all, the first one I got put in, they had to prescribe me misoprostol, which is what they give to people that's in labor to help dilate them.
Yeah, to help you open up.
It did not help. Let's just go there.
Well, for one, the other chemicals in your body needed for that to work weren't there. Because they only really get released when it's time.
Well, the other issue is she also wanted me to be the one to insert the pill.
On a stick?
No, they didn't give me anything to help me.
Well, when I had mine, I had to put the pill in my cervix. So it was like on a stick, a long stick. They say, now stick this whole fucking stick in there with the pill at the end.
All they gave me was that fucking pill.
Because she tried, I'm about to tell you, I asked for the stick. At first, she was like, put it into like your knuckle. No, I'm not going to do that.
And well, my assumption was I didn't put it up far enough.
Well, of course you're not. You don't go up there. Like, you don't just be willy-nilly up in there.
You know, there's a pH in there.
I told the lady that, she was like, put in your cervix. I said, I'm not putting stuff in my cervix. I don't know where that is.
Well, I tried, and I don't think I did a good job.
I don't know when I hit it. I don't know.
And then because it was a quarter of the pill, and I was like, what if the edges of this pill scratch up something while I'm trying to get it up there? I was like, no. So I go in to get my first IUD put in, and I swear to you, she was trying to get that thing in me for at least 30 minutes.
My thing is, they could have just put your ass to sleep.
At that point, because at one point, it was her and the nurse, and I used to love her nurse. But the nurse is literally standing next to me, and the doctor's down there doing her business, and literally I'm shaking. I'm in so much pain. And she finally gets, like, because I guess they have to also measure and all this other stuff when they put an IUD in. So the whole time I'm thinking she down there putting the IUD in, and she's actually just measuring. And I'm telling you, it was painful. And
why didn't they just put your ass to sleep? That sounds terrible.
So then we sitting there, I'm laying there, and then she goes, okay, I'm gonna put the IUD in now. And I actually said, what have you been doing? And that's when she told me about the measuring and stuff. And then she said, literally, it's like just 10 seconds. And I said, give me a minute. And I literally just laid there with my arm over my face, and the nurse is like rubbing my arm or something, because I'm just like, God, does this hurt? And then I asked her, I said,
I never had that.
I asked her, I said, if I choose to just come back another day, can I? And she said, you definitely can. But she was like, I promise you, it's literally like just 10 seconds.
10 seconds of pain. But anyway.
Right. So I was just like, so I sat there and I took like 3 deep breaths. And then I said,
getting ready for your first wax. Okay.
I said, okay,
I can do it.
And then she did it. And it was like literally like less than 20 seconds. And it was painful. But once it was in there, I felt nothing. And I was just like, God, was that terrible? Getting the second one in, no problem. She literally pulled it out, slapped the other one in. It was fine. But getting that third one in, that's the one where the cysts and stuff happened. I don't know what happened then, but she said every time she tried to put that IUD in me, my cervix pushed it right back out.
Your body rejected it is what it sounded like.
And now for that one, she did put me to sleep to put it in. But she said even while I was asleep that she still had to pretty much force it in.
See, I was never allowed to get it because before I got pregnant, I was on and off the pill. Got pregnant because I was off the pill. And then after I gave birth, I was like, girl, hurry up and put that pill. Because during pregnancy, I ended up developing like ginormous cysts because of the hormones from being pregnant. So then they told me the cyst got so big, I was forever a lifelong. It disqualified me for life for getting IUDs because of how big the fucking cyst got because of the hormone. I think it was almost 10 centimeters. Like that motherfucker was big. It was growing with the baby. It was like I had twins. And they was like, if that bitch explode, you literally are gonna die. That's how big it was. So then they said, if it get any big, we gotta do surgery, which is gonna kill the baby, girl. Because that thing is so big, if it explodes, your stomach gonna fucking explode. You gonna die, bitch. That's how big it got. And then luckily it just stopped growing. And by my 6-week follow-up, I kid you not, it was gone.
Yeah,
But that's why I say I don't want nothing to add extra hormones to my body. I said I'd rather just get the shit removed. I was scared of the pill after that shit, but I was on it. But it made me batshit crazy. Batshit crazy.
The pill didn't make me crazy.
Oh, it made me fucking
but
crazy.
I made some very, very bad decisions when it came to the pill. I could never, Jade. Never for the life of
remember
me
to
take that
I
damn
had an
pill.
alarm on my phone.
I had an alarm on my phone. I used to leave it sitting on the TV, because TVs could actually hold stuff
back then.
Yeah. So I used to have it on top of the TV.
We old.
When I used to get up, and I'm like, oh, it's the first thing I see. I've tried just carrying it with me. Never could remember to take this fucking pill.
That was not a problem for me.
And then when I would remember, because I missed like 2 weeks, I would double, triple up on pills.
Oh, you can't do that.
I did. And then when I went...
Fuck you up.
It fucked me up. I immediately went from a size 14 to like a size almost 20. And then couldn't figure out why I was gaining weight. And I was talking to that gynecologist, the first one from 2011. And she suggested the IUD to me.
Yeah, if you can't remember to take the damn pill.
She was like, you would probably be a great candidate for an IUD. And I remember telling her like, I don't know. I was told that only people that's had kids can have those. And that I was like, as much as I hate having a period, they serve a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like getting rid of them I still need to cleanse myself of the egg and stuff.
But you don't have an egg.
And then she broke it down. Was like, no, technically that's not true. You'll still have your eggs, but it won't drop and stuff like that.
They just there.
Yeah. And when she could barely get that sentence out before I was like, all right, IUD. I was like, you ain't even have to go through all that. You could have just said that's not true. And I would have been like, okay, cool.
Well, I couldn't. Well, for one, I knew people that had to get it surgically removed because their body accepted it as part of their body.
I know somebody,
and I was like,
I know somebody that had to get the copper one, which is
I forget which one. It was the copper one for that one girl too. That thing is dangerous.
I don't remember which one the copper one is called. I had the Mirena, which is the plastic one.
Yeah.
And it has the hormone in it. The copper one doesn't have hormones. And so, yeah, so I was complaining to the gynecologist about my weight. And that's when she brought up the IUD too. She was like, well, of course you gained a bunch of weight.
You ain't taking it right.
She said you are adding hormones, removing hormones, adding hormones, removing hormones, adding hormones, She's like, your body doesn't know what to do. So you're gaining weight. And that's why I tell people all the time, I said, my weight gain, like the weight that I have on now, which is a weight gain for me, is not because of what I eat or lack of movement. I know mine is tied to my hormones.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get my hormone imbalance fixed. And I'll start dropping weight like crazy. It happens all the time. Because when I fixed my hormone issue then, started losing weight almost immediately. Because I told you, people would come to me and be like, are you losing weight? And so many people asked me that at the place that I was working. And I actually got mad because I thought they were trying to like make fun of me or something. I was
why
like,
would you think they make it funny?
Are they? Because I couldn't see any weight loss. So I'm like, I ain't lost no fucking weight. So am I the butt of somebody's joke or something? Like, what's going on? Because I'm
What's
like,
wrong with you?
ain't no weight been lost.
And it has.
And I went and stepped on the scale, and I went and stepped on the scale and had lost 30 pounds.
You said, well, damn.
I said, well, I guess I am losing weight.
Had that crash out at work for no reason.
I didn't crash out, but I wanted to. I do remember thinking to myself, I haven't lost any weight, so why do people keep asking me this? Like, it's making me subconscious. So, but yeah, turned out I had lost 30 pounds. But yeah, I will say that hysterectomy, though, was a pretty easy surgery.
Well, mine was easy. I woke up. I went there. They put me to sleep. I woke up. I only got my 2 little marks on my bikini line.
Yeah, the tooth tie was way easier. I mean, it's way less invasive.
I recommend it. People don't. I know people. I don't want to.
Oh yeah, our first hysterectomy clip there was so granted most people was like, oh, I wish I could get one, but there was some people that was like, just wait till you turn this, wait till menopause, do this. And I'm like, look, do you think I didn't know all those risks when I got the surgery? I knew that those were risks.
And I still got my ovaries. Be quiet.
I mean, you could still go into early, but
it's
just less likely.
You knew it.
I'm like, I knew that was a possibility when I did the surgery. Like,
but I think people live based off of fear, and low key, people doing things not based off of fear pisses them off. Because the backlash I got when I said, mind you, I already had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
When I said I made a status about getting my tubes removed.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all always letting them white people play in y'all bodies. What? Like legit. What? Legit.
You know what? It is really starting to bug me that people will make everything about race. Everything is not about black, white, Mexican, whatever.
Well,
it's not.
My thought was like, first of all, this was my black ass idea.
And
my black ass surgeon did it.
Like, she's black. Like, what are you talking about?
The surgeon that performed the surgery was black too.
And she is damn good.
Everybody black was involved. Everybody involved was black. I don't. I was like, what the hell that got to do with any goddamn? I was like, first of all, again, you don't know my medical history. It ain't none of your business. So when y'all come in talking crazy, y'all don't even know what the fuck y'all talking about. Like, you don't know my medical history. You don't know what the fuck I've been through. And it ain't none of your business.
Yeah, because you legit almost died.
And they don't know that because they none of their business. The baby came out, his left side of his body didn't goddamn work. No, I ain't having no more. He had jaundice. Like, no, I'm not. He had to have baby physical therapy. Luckily, insurance paid for that shit.
Well,
no.
I know with that hysterectomy, no. I requested my short-term leave, which was supposed to be 6 to 8 weeks. And then I saw that with short-term leave, you only get 60% of your pay.
Took your ass back to work.
I said, I said, you ain't about to pay me 60% of my pay. I want 100% of my pay. And I had that surgery. What was it? January 9th?
9th or 10th or something like that.
Let's see. It was so I know I got my locks that Monday, and I think that was the 9th. So 9, 10, 11, 12. It was the 13th. I got it done January 13th, 2024. And I took all of a week off, and then I went back to work. And it wasn't necessarily because I just had to go back to work.
You felt fine. You was bored.
I could, like, literally, I stayed in this house for a solid 10 days. And I was like, I can't take it no more. I've watched all the YouTube that I can watch. I've listened to all the music I could listen to. I walked around and I'm just like, I can't do this no more. So when I went to my follow-up appointment, she looked at my incisions and stuff, and she said, oh, you pretty much healed up already.
Big.
And I said, okay, I'm going to tell you right now, if you do not approve me to go back to work, I am going to be in another city tomorrow because I am not staying at home. And she was like, honestly, I can't argue with what I'm seeing. You are completely fine. And she was like, so yeah, if you want to go back to work, go back to work.
Because I think I went to work less than a week. I think it was like 4 or 5 days. And they were like, are you sure? I said, really feel
For my
fine.
for getting my tubes tied, she told me, yeah, 5 days and go back to
I was
work.
like, I genuinely feel fine. I don't feel sick. I'm not even taking medication. Like, I'm literally back to normal. This is
And
why
that's the other thing. I didn't take
like,
any, like, they prescribed me oxycodone. I never took it. I
girl,
mean,
they ain't even give me
I
no
took
oxy.
one, well, that's because yours
All
was
I got
tube
was some
tie.
800.
That's all I got for my tube ties, yeah. But for the hysterectomy, they gave me Tylenol, ibuprofen, and oxycodone. And she made me promise before I left that hospital that I would take at least the first dose of the oxycodone to stay ahead of the pain. And I'm just like, dude, I'm walking out of this hospital and people can't even believe it right now. Like, I literally had a nurse come up to me as I'm getting ready to leave and say, "Didn't you just have surgery today?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "It don't seem like it." I said, "It don't feel like it either."
Good job.
I'm telling you, if y'all need a good Indianapolis doctor, whether it's for surgeries or not, she is a great doctor.
Mhm.
And me and Jade, she's both of our gynecologists. And she is amazing. When I say she, like Jay said, she went over that entire
In a
chart
way
with
that
me.
nobody has ever went over that shit with me.
You know how, and of course the women will know, but you know how in the room they have the chart of like the cervix and everything, and have your fallopian tubes and all this other stuff, label them and all that other good crap. They give you well enough time to read that whole thing before the doctor actually comes into the fucking room. I know that.
All day.
She pulled out a dry erase marker. She
Start
was
drawing
circling on it and
stuff.
explaining stuff. I'm like, this is the type of doctors that we need. Explain this shit to us because we don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
But this is why I choose to, if I can, have all black doctors. Now, so far I've gotten lucky. I don't know how I've done this because all of my doctors are black. Now, they booked and busy.
They are booked and busy.
They booked and busy.
All of my doctors now are black as well.
I had a black doctor for Jai, but she moved and I was very sad.
But I'm telling you, if y'all can find y'all a good one that will actually explain stuff to you. Like Dave Ramsey used to say about people with finances and stuff. You're looking for somebody that has the heart of a teacher. If they can teach you, God, you found a good one.
Because a lot of them, they just, they do what the hell they want to do with your body, which is crazy, but
which is why I spent more than 10 years or almost 10 years
thinking you had HPV, didn't even have no, but that would make sense why they didn't want to answer your emails, because then they would have to admit that you don't have damn HPV.
I was like,
after 2 surgeries for something you never had.
I said, when she told me that, I just sat there for a second. I said, well, what you mean I don't have it? I said, I damn sure better have it. I just like, what you mean? She was like, but you don't. So yeah, so that's when I was like, okay, you can go ahead and transfer everything
over here
from that hospital over to this one. I'm just gonna stick with you because I had no intention of actually keeping. I just wanted to figure out what was going on with the cysts on my ovaries.
Yeah,
and I wasn't getting. I knew I was gonna change doctors from that woman, but I was like, it probably still would stay with them, that hospital system. Because I really liked my primary care physician that was with them. But when I decided to go ahead and switch everything over to the new hospital system, I said, I'm going to just switch everything over here.
It's easier. I still ain't switched back, and I ain't going to. It's too much work.
But anyway, that's my story, the full story on why I got my hysterectomy.
Live and uncut.
If you ask me, it's still 90% because I didn't want kids. I mean, I've been trying.
There was 10% health reason.
It was 10% health. But to me, the health reason was just my foot in the door. Like, I really just want this, so I don't have kids. I mean, it is what it is at this point.
It's done.
It's done. It's done. It's done. No give backsies.
Yeah, you signed paperwork saying you wasn't gonna sue.
Oh, did I?
They make you.
I mean, I think they should. That's a pretty major surgery.
Yeah, they like, just in case you change your mind, sign this paperwork saying you ain't gonna sue us when you do.
And I wouldn't. So
you know some idiots will.
We're gonna end it on the note of playing a game, asking for a friend. This is another
Asking
soft
for a
test of another
friend.
game that I plan to play whenever we host a gathering at my house. I got to get everything situated now that all my floor has been ripped up. So next time we record in here, we won't have carpet anymore.
No floors.
That you guys should be able to see them.
They'll see them in the corner.
Yeah, in the corner. So this one is called Asking for a Friend.
What we doing?
Same thing. You pick a card. Speed answer.
Okay.
I'm going to ask that there's 3 sets of cards. There's relationship, kinky, and everything else.
We're not doing kinky.
Yeah, I'm going to ask that we stay away from kinky.
We don't want to do kinky because we don't get kinky with each other. So we're not doing that.
Or we could just say that for like when we actually do the hangout. They're just questions. They're not like, do this with this person or something. They're not like that. I
don't think the kinky is good for right now.
No. So we just pick a card and we read it, answer the question.
Everything else. Ooh, financial or extenuating circumstances aside, at what age is it weird to have roommates? What about living with your parents?
But living with your parents is becoming more and more the norm. I see that all the time online where people are like, have you not seen the economy? Of course I still live with my parents.
Yeah, because it's terrible out here.
But at the same, I couldn't.
Some parents really do like for their kids to
some of them do. And I think some of them is like a cultural thing.
Yeah, because some of them, you stay with your parents till you get married, regardless of your financial situation. Until you get married, you stay with family.
Here's my thing. I'm way too independent for that. I cannot, and that's not to say that people that live with their parents or have roommates isn't independent, but I could not imagine still living with my mother at 38.
First of all, when I got my first apartment, I said I will live in the hood if I have a roommate. I am living where I can afford.
I could do a roommate because
I couldn't.
Depending on who the roommate is. Now, back to the question though, how old is too old for either of those?
I think it depends on who it is. Like, I don't think there's a definitive, it depends on what else going on in your life, honestly. Because your cultural background makes a difference. Because what is normal for you determines if that's normal, if that makes sense. My
biggest thing would be, what do you expect from me? Like, if I'm dating somebody, but you live with your parents.
I'm not dating nobody live with their parents.
I'm like, I couldn't date somebody that's still living with their parents. I'm sorry, no.
We supposed to be quiet because your mama gonna hear.
Like, I like to do a little too much. No, no. Like, and it gets touchy when it's roommates, but it's not a deal breaker. But like the guy that was like well over 40 and he had multiple roommates, I'm like, no, dude.
He was down and out. He had bigger things to focus on than trying to be a relationship.
I'm like, there is a point where it becomes, you need to get your priorities straight.
Life got you fucked up and you need to fuck it back. So, like,
okay, I guess that's a good way to put it. I chose relationship.
Yeah, what yours say?
If you're in a relationship, is it okay to like thirst traps on social media?
If it's a celebrity, yes. An everyday person you actually know, hell no. Because a Bang Chan nip slip is innocent. But a dude I went to high school nip slip is not innocent anymore. I feel like that's where the line is drawn. And on top of that, I love Charm Ben. If Victor knows I do, it's not a secret. So if I come to, Charm Ben looking real good today, he be like, whatever. Like, right. It's not. Now, if I say, hey, old dude Adrian, we went to school, his show looking good. He like, bitch, what the fuck you say to me? Like, it's not.
I don't disagree. I don't completely disagree with you. I will say, do I think it's wrong? No. But it will make me look at you sideways the more you actually know that person.
That's what I'm saying. Like a celebrity that you don't know and you more than likely will never have real contact with, whatever.
Whether it's a celebrity or not. If it's just some rando on social media, sure, whatever.
The emo dudes from Tumblr? Oh, I used to love that.
I remember I didn't use Tumblr.
You missed that on the air, I tell you. But anywho.
So yeah, if it's if it's just some rando on the street that you don't know.
If you know them.
It's like, sure, whatever. I don't give a fuck. But if it's like somebody that I know you know them, it's like, hold on.
Because my thing is somebody you actually could have contact with is a problem. Mm-hmm.
All right, which one are you choosing?
I'll choose relationship. Why not? It's pink.
Of course.
Is it okay for your partner to have a say in what you wear? Is there ever a line?
By say, like, because, okay, so there's levels to that.
There's an opinion and then there's a demand.
Exactly.
Like, those are two different things.
Like, having an opinion, yes, that's fine. Like, because I'm sure I'll have an opinion on what they wear, too. But to be like, oh, no, you're not wearing that today. Like, hold on. These my clothes and my body. If I want to put on a clown costume and rock it outside this house, I can. I wouldn't.
But I can.
But I could. Like, so, yeah.
Yeah, and I wouldn't date nobody who would feel like that's acceptable.
Because that's just controlling.
So,
don't try to control me, because, you know, I can't even control my own damn self.
Only people control
as we have already, you know, established, I can barely control my damn self.
Only people controlling me is these damn kids.
Is the Lord.
And these damn kids.
I don't know.
What did it say?
Okay, I chose everything else. This one says, how real is astrology?
Depends on who you talking to.
It really does.
It depends on who you talking to.
I place all my faith in the Lord. But
some people really live by that shit.
But I ain't gonna lie though. Sometimes when I be on TikTok and see them reading them little tarot cards and stuff, some of that stuff, I be like, you know what?
It be math. The math be math and sometimes.
But you know what I say? Whenever it actually is something that resonates with me, I be like, this ain't nothing but God speaking to me through them.
I feel that way about the crystals too. People get mad because you know I like the crystals. Mm-hmm. Well, we like the crystals. Mm-hmm. And be like, that's blasphemous. I said, how is it blasphemous when God makes the dang
God can
stone?
use anything to send a message to you.
They like, they don't have energy. I was like, first of all, God made the heavens and the earth, which means God made these goddamn old magical rocks. So I don't know how that's not Christianly. But because I feel like God giving the rocks power. I don't know who y'all think giving the rocks power.
I mean, so what was the burning bush then? God can and will use if he need to get a message to you, he will send that message to you by any means necessary.
Now the people putting dang on rose quartz and water bottles thinking that's doing something, baby. Now that's a little crazy.
I'm not gonna do that.
That's a little nuts.
That's taking a bit too far.
Mm-hmm.
Too far.
Okay, I got everything else. This one says, would you quit your job for your partner? Is it ever okay to expect that they would do that for you?
What's the job?
Again, these questions, there's variables to this that they're not addressing. These are not yes or no's. Because again, what is the job? How do you feel about the job? How attached are you to the job? How attached am I to whatever situation I'm trying to tell you to quit the job for?
And how in love are we?
This don't even say a husband, a wife, just somebody you date.
Yeah, because a partner doesn't necessarily mean you're married.
A boyfriend and girlfriend, no. Husband or wife, yes.
I mean, if I was a stripper, yeah, sure.
But then again, it depends. How attached was I? Like, let's say you were dating somebody.
I thought you were about to say how attached were you to the pole.
No, it's like, let's say you dating somebody. You know you've always wanted to go to South Korea. You dating this man. He ends up like, hey, I got this awesome opportunity in South Korea.
I'm gone.
Can you come with me?
I'm gone.
Exactly. That's what it depends. There's so many variables here. There's so many variables here.
Let me find a man that wants to move to South Korea. Look, it won't take much convincing. Because I'm already mentally prepared. I've already looked up how hard is it to become a citizen? How hard is it to learn Korean? And how hard is it to buy property in Korea while I'm still over here? So that when I get over there, I already got my house.
Like I said, it's so many variables. Like, who are they to me? How strongly I feel about them? Where are they going? Is it somewhere I want to go? Like, there's there's not a yes or no. There's many variables.
Goodness, this is a long question.
Ooh, what it say?
I chose relationship. It says, is it wrong to date more than one person at the same time before you're in a committed relationship? No, that's the whole point of dating.
That's what dating is.
And I don't care what nobody say. If you are just dating, you are not committed. You can date whoever you want to, as many of whomevers you want to.
I feel like it's like a martini sampler. Like, you take a little here.
Not a flight.
Yeah. You ain't committed to it. You got a little bit of this one.
We're just dating.
Because there's no commitment. Now, once you decide to commit to one of them, the other one's got to go. FYI. You only can keep one.
And
you only can keep one.
As we've said multiple times before, dating multiple people does not necessarily mean you're having sex with all of those people.
Please don't do that.
Please don't.
It just creates confusion. It's not even about being fast.
It makes it hard to know who the baby daddy is.
It just creates emotional and physical confusion.
So, yeah. Go ahead.
Ooh. I like this one.
What's this one?
It says, should everyone try therapy before starting a relationship?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, we'd have more successful marriages if more people did that.
We have fewer marriages, and that's what's important. Fewer, healthier.
Yeah,
marriages. If people, but I don't know, because I low-key want to bring back the meeting with the pastor and y'all having to meet and talk. Not the crazy shit where they was telling you if you could marry them, but you know, where you go and talk and y'all interview and they let you know how they feel about y'all relationship. I like that.
But that would be adding God back into marriage. How dare you?
Promise I got no church home, because baby, if I did, that's what I would have did.
You know what? Speaking of God, I was on something a couple days ago. I don't remember which social media it was. It's probably Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who I think is probably just as bad, if not worse, than the loud Christians that wants to condemn everybody to hell?
Who?
Atheists.
Because a lot of them aren't really atheists. Now,
and let me clarify that, because I don't mean all atheists. I know a few atheists and they are actually decent people. But it's the ones, just like all Christians aren't like the world say Christians are. But I was crossing something, and yeah, it definitely was Reddit, because they got on Reddit and they was all talking about how, you know, everybody apparently needs to just go ahead and face the fact, a hard truth that people ain't ready for, or something like that. God ain't real, and the sooner y'all realize that. And then somebody actually asked them and said, okay, I can get behind what you're saying, but where's your proof when the only proof is you have to die in order to even know? Like, but I'm just like, that's no different than a Christian going to somebody and be like, you're going to hell because you chose to get an abortion. You're going to hell because of XYZ. Now,
you don't know that.
Exactly. And it's just like, now you got some atheists that's just like, it's a fact. God isn't real.
But my thing
ain't real. I'm just like,
those aren't atheists. Those are people that are anti-God, and they're calling themselves atheists.
Exactly.
Atheists state that they don't believe there is a higher being, like, controlling our every move and all. They don't. The thing is, a lot of atheists I know, they don't disprove that there couldn't be a higher power. They're just stating that they don't personally believe there's one. They're not angry at people. They're not.
Let's also be clear about the fact that, and I'm only speaking for Christianity, at least what I know about it, God don't control us either.
We are a free will.
That is why God gave us free will, so that we could do whatever it is we want to do, right or wrong.
But as I said, those people are anti-God and they're calling themselves atheists. And I'm just like, that's not what they are.
That's fine if you don't believe. Don't believe. But don't try to force other people to also not believe.
That's why they're not atheists.
That's, to me, that's just as bad as the people that say there's Christians that try to force people into Christianity.
But they're not Christians. They're people who follow the Bible.
Exactly.
Those are two different things. But anyway,
Go ahead.
Enough of our rant. This relationship says, is it fair for a partner to ask you to convert to their religion? Right on cue. Right on cue.
No, I don't think it's fair. But I also see that in my future.
My thing is, again, it depends. Who you talking to? Were you even interested in their religion? How interested are you?
Well, if you're
how open are you for change?
I don't know. To me, asking somebody to change their religion,
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
To
I don't think that's ever really a fair thing to ask somebody to do.
Who already has
now, if
religion.
they come to you and is talking to you and telling you that they have learned about the religion, they are thinking about converting, then sure. But to just ask somebody to do that, I would never.
I feel like it's one of those things, if you are very religious, just date somebody who already has your religion. Yeah, if you're very religious. I don't think it makes sense to date somebody if you're very, because a lot of people are like, they have religions, but they're not that attached to them, and that's different.
I think the issue comes when they add kids to the mix.
And then no one knows what religion and again, why did no one talk about this before y'all had kids? But that's
why didn't you talk about it before marriage? Anywho.
That's what they do.
Go ahead.
Let's make this the last one.
Okay.
Is it weird to share toothbrushes?
Yes.
Is it better to share or not brush your teeth?
Dude, look, you could literally go to Dollar General and get a toothbrush.
Why are we sharing something that's 50 cents?
Literally.
Why are we doing that?
At Dollar General, you could probably get a pack of 10.
I know you could, for damn sure, get a pack of 4 for $1.25.
Anywho, that was a good one to end it on.
Because that was foolish.
That was just crazy. But anywho, hope y'all like this episode of, the struggles of women in the healthcare industry.
Slightly religious tangent.
Yeah, with a slight religious rant. But anywho, make sure you do all the things, like, comment, subscribe, and
share
on YouTube. And on the audio platforms, make sure you like, comment, rate, review, and share on there too, if possible. Definitely want to make sure you guys are doing that on the audio platforms, because we have seen a lot of new listeners there.
Hey y'all.
But if y'all could please just leave a heart or something just on the comments, just to let us know you watched it and you rocked with us, that would be great. But with that, we will see you guys next week. Same time, same place. Deuces.
Bye, friends.